Hey guys, welcome back to the second episode of the Tech Scene podcast. In my opinion, what's coming up is an amazing episode. I had a wonderful time recording this one, and I really hope you do. But before we start off with the episode, here's just a little bit of a preview. If you have already gone through the previews on the social media, you do not need to go through this again. Just skip to the 2 minute mark. Otherwise, you can just listen from here on.
The very thing we are trying to do was make something experimental, make something new, but make something for this kind of for us, the gamers, which is something we want, not something which is just announced by a big company and then we kind of have to work our way around it. We wanted to make something for gamers, which was the name, which is the reason for our entire name, the gaming project. It's a project, it's an experiment, but it's something that we want to build as an Indian gamer. That's how it started. The gaming project was that was the reason. And to be honest, I've met a lot of people when we go out, we pitch to people. That's like in startup 101. And a lot of them are like, why you still call the project? Right? Why not call yourself, something, name, a proper name, that because that's what the startup industry is also about. Like, you have to have a really cool name. And it also have to have a really cool meaning behind it. And the reason we stuck to gaming project is like because it can't stop. We can't stop and be a corporate company or not even a corporate company. We don't want to stop experimenting. We want to make something just which keeps constantly, it keeps evolving, but constantly also just remains to the fact that it's there to serve the gamers and what they want. So feedback, feedback to give what they want. That's what we wanted.
Hey guys, welcome to the second episode of the Tech Scene podcast. Today I have with me someone who I've been pursuing for literally months to get onto the podcast. So today I have with me the founder of the gaming project, India's first cloud gaming startup, Sarang, Atri, who like started this up with his co-founder Manan. And like we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff today, and this is a service that I personally love and have been using a lot, so I'm super excited for this one. So welcome Sarang to the Texin podcast, and I'm so happy that you are here and like accepted my invite.
Thanks for throwing me under the bus straight away. This guy, I'm pursuing this guy for so long, but he's such a big, you know,
I
uh,
have been bro.
that is true. That is true. The thing is, that was the reason because I think I saw I think you sent me like a LinkedIn thing,
Yeah.
and I like it was there. I read it, and I think at the time we were just so busy doing. I don't even remember what that. I think I completely forgot about it. And then when I got your email the second time, I just immediately
Mhm.
remembered your name, and I think that was that guilt that made me like, yeah, no, I have to. It's like he kind of mailed me a long time back. Yeah, but no,
Cold emailing worked for once.
cold
Thank God.
emailing works, dude. I was in sales, it works. But yeah, thank you so much for inviting me. Also, that's thing is that's half the honor. Like some, this is my first podcast. So someone invited me to a podcast. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I should do that.
I really wanted to like get in first because like you're gonna be really busy going on forward because like
I
it's gonna
hope.
be such a huge thing. This whole
I
industry is gonna be such a huge thing.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's true. That is very true. It already is like after
Yeah.
1 year of like I think
Yeah,
uh
Stadia launched in November last year.
yeah, but
I
see
think that was
that's
the first public one,
actually
like
no,
the
that's
first
that's the
mainstream one.
no no that's the thing. Like people don't know, but there was a service called OnLive which went
Mhm.
public a long time back. They
Mhm.
started this. They started like people used to kind of laugh at the idea that you can go cloud game because back when online started, which is a long time back, I'm not sure. I think it was 2009. Yeah, this started in 2009 and it went defunct in 2012. Yeah,
Mhm.
but they did it. They ran for 3 years and they basically proved that this the tech is there and it's obviously they were a little ahead of their time. But yeah, and afterwards, as it drew on, there were always hints that Google's working on it, Microsoft's working on it. Sony basically worked on it and gave it away as like part of their, PlayStation services. and they were so low key about it. Like hardly anyone kind of knew that. I mean, they were very low key about it because obviously they want to sell, the hardware.
Mhm.
Uh, and so, yeah, so around that time is when we started, which was back in 2018. No,
Oh,
October. Yeah, October 2018 is when we started, me and Manan, as you mentioned. So, and yeah, that was it. So we were trying to play a game. I don't remember which game it was, and we couldn't run it on our respective desktops. And we were on the phone,
yeah.
and we started searching for what we could do. And one of the things we came up with was cloud gaming. And then we tried to do it in India, like, just sitting on our computers, and then we realized there was nobody in India doing it. And then we were sad because we were like, yeah, US chale jate hain, stuff like that. You can have these thoughts. And then we just thought, I think I don't know, I don't remember who it was, but I think one of us just said, hey, you want to do it for India? And the other was like, yeah, cool. And then this is literally how it started. And yeah, I think we took a month uh, thinking about it, doing our research, went to our investors, went to like made these big ass presentations, and they were cool enough. And to be honest, we started off by some big help from our own families. And we're like, yeah, we're going crazy, but we think this will work. And I think it was 1 year after we've already been there. We were running our beta, if I'm not wrong, which started back in November 19 or October, something around that area. And after it's around that time, Stadia announced, Google announced. So that Stadia was also called Google was that project was called Project Yeti. Oh yeah, Google has so many projects. So and we being like tech guys uh, and people who are really into hardcore tech and stuff, like just like people listening to this podcast, hopefully, because that's what they're looking for, right? They're looking for information which they're really interested in, and that's why we always used to keep an eye out on what Google was doing. Uh, and that's when we heard that Stadia, and I was like, damn, that's a cool name. And their video, and it was so. I'll tell you how bad it was. They announced, and at the time I was making a promotional video. I was editing it. I like to edit, so I was putting together this video about us, which was an introduction to us. And Google puts out their video, and it has the same song.
Oh,
And I was like,
oh.
damn, no, like it didn't feel. I didn't feel bad about it. I was like, the coincidence is so crazy. It was so like it was almost meta, but like it was like it was so good. And I was just like, yeah,
Like
cool.
it just hurts you like deep inside
No, see, I'll be
sometimes.
I'll be honest. We knew Google was working on it. We knew Project Yeti was cloud gaming, but we had no
Mhm.
idea what it would be like, because cloud gaming is just a concept. The business model around it, how you present it,
Mhm.
is so it can be anything, and to be honest, that's what Stadia proved. They are completely different to what we do at the gaming project. At the same
Mhm.
time, Project X Cloud is
Yeah.
completely different what Stadia does and what we do, because there can be so many iterations of it. So when it was announced, yeah, see, at the end of the day, fuckti to hai, because it's Google, right? Again, pardon my French, but it's Google, right? You're nothing.
Mhm.
And at the time we were just three people. It's not like Habhi hum bahut sare hain. We're like five, no six, yeah, five people. We're five people. So, it's not like how we've increased our team a lot, but drastically. But even at the time, we were three people and we had no idea what we were doing. We didn't have any customers. And when Google announced, we were like, oh shit. And, but they also stole my music. I'm not going to feel bad about that. But, and when they announced and it happened, and it was like, okay, cool, man. Let's see what they do. And Stadia is a brilliant concept. That's the thing. Like, me and Manan always say it. Like, whenever we have this conversation about competitors and what Google's doing, what xCloud is doing, the first thing in my head is like, if I had the money, if I had the resources, I would do exactly what Stadia did. Their
Mhm.
their concept about the what you call uh
ownership of the games and
Ownership.
pro
So
membership and
ownership,
stuff.
I'm not that big fan of, but like I mean I get it as a business model.
Mhm.
I like it. But no, I'm talking about like the custom hardware that they've done. The fact that it's
Right, yeah. I
basically
think
a
it's also Linux based.
I'm not so sure about I'm pretty sure Google has the custom UI for it,
Mhm.
custom language for it, and the fact that the hardware that they're using is amazing.
Mhm.
The fact that they're basically it's literally something that it's a platform now that game devs make games for, right? That's the
Mhm.
dream, right?
Yeah.
You're because for so long you only on I don't know if you've ever bought a CD. Now you're not that old, but when you buy a game CD, there's only three things written on
Mhm.
a poster, right? It says PC, Xbox, PlayStation, right? These are the three things that they used to say, the game's
Mhm.
poster or something. But when it says another, like, Stadia or whatever, that
Stadia,
means
yeah.
that, yeah, okay, you're a big competitor now. So that I mean really cool.
Right. Okay, so just like a bit of a pause over here.
Sure.
I love to talk more about Stadia and Luna and like all of those, but like
Yeah.
first, because I think a lot of people in our audience might not even know like basically what cloud gaming is. Like they
Oh
might
yeah.
have been hearing us like talk about this concept and they don't even know what's happening. So let's
That's
just explain a bit to them what we're talking about.
yeah, of course. So cloud gaming is basically the fact that well, to explain it in a very simple terms, cloud gaming is the ability for you to play a gamer to play games on any device that they prefer without having to download or install anything on their own device because the game and all the data it's all installed on our servers and then we stream the data to you. So you don't
Like YouTube.
like YouTube. So that's what we are. We ourselves call like as an elevator pitch, we call ourselves the Netflix of games because that's what our model is. Uh,
Mhm.
which is the fact that you come to our site, you click on a game, and then it just starts playing.
Mhm.
That's what our idea was. We didn't want a person to wait and for this game to get installed or anything like that. We just wanted a Netflix experience. So that's what cloud
Mhm.
gaming is. It's the fact that you can play PC games on your mobile. You can play,
Mhm.
and you can just when you're playing on your mobile, suppose you're in college, you're playing the game on your mobile, and when your teacher comes to your class, you pause the game, throw your phone out, and then when you go home, you play the same game from the same moment. You unpause your game, and now you're playing your game on your laptop. So that's what cloud gaming is: the ability to have the freedom to play any game anywhere you want at any time.
And see that's like so like intriguing to me because like I didn't even know this concept existed like in proper fashion before Stadia got announced. I
Yeah.
got into it like proper last year when it got mainstream, and like
Mm-hmm.
just how compatible everything is. Like I just like connect my controller and
Mm-hmm.
it works out of the box.
Yeah.
And I'm playing GTA 5 like because I already own it, so I'm playing GTA 5 on in Chrome basically.
Yeah.
And it's just completely dumbfounding how that works.
See, that's the thing. Like I mean, it's the simple, a little bit of how you are able to even comprehend at this point is because of rise of the streaming services, right? You've had Netflix and YouTube and all of them, and that because you yourself at this point are so used to streaming, you can basically have the simple idea of, yeah, if I can stream a movie, why can't I stream a game? Why can't I stream the video audio of a game? Right? And that's what the basic idea was from. I'm pretty sure when Online Australia was announced, whenever what they were thinking of was the same thing we were thinking of when we started. Is the fact that yeah, if I can stream videos, why not stream? Why not, if I can stream video and audio, why can't I also just make the experience better? And that's how it starts. And to be honest, that's also where the headache starts if you're a developer. But yeah, and then even though
I can completely imagine like all the hassles, like managing drivers on a like cloud PC and stuff.
oh, it's like obviously we won't go into like the whole technical aspect of it, But yeah, I mean, when you started, like when we started, so a little bit of a background. Me and Manan aren't developers. We're not like dur, so we're not connected to development. It's literally our passions which helped us kind of get into it. So me, my background, my BTech, as of I'm an engineer, but my BTech is in renewable energy. Totally different thing, right?
Yeah.
And Manan's is electronics. That's the thing. Like we're not connected to this industry, whether it's gaming or computers. And the only reason was when we started, our thing was basically like we knew about games. That's what we know. Like that's like the basis of our work. So when if we took like a year to develop our technology, so we have a custom technology. It's the code is custom. It's all proprietary and everything. And like the first, if we took a year to develop it, half of it, well, like almost half of it went into learning what the tech is, learning what are we doing, how the hell does this work, learning languages, stuff like that, and then moving forward to the actual development of what we are trying to do. It took
I
all
mean,
the
and
patience
and
of
it
the.
shows like completely because I think Stadia and the gaming project are the only two current services that I can actually play through a web browser. Like there are other services
Uh,
around like on there as well, but I mean even a couple that used to like provide this service through the Chrome browser, they just stopped it. So Stadia and like the gaming project are the only two which I can actually play on my PC because I have a Linux computer,
oh
but
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
I don't
yeah, yeah,
use
yeah,
Windows.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So like, but that's the
and
accessibility which I
and
feel.
that's also the shitty thing, right? Because Linux is like the worst thing to have if you're a gamer. It's like,
Yeah, exactly.
because they put out support for Linux, like for Linux machines for games which came out 20 years ago. It's like we'll be like, oh yeah, I'm playing Doom, and you're gonna be like, yeah, I'm also playing Doom, but that's the 1984 Doom, not the 2016 one. And I was like, why is that like? Yeah, that's one of those things that they do.
And like at this point, I don't even look for GPUs anymore because I know I can't play any games on my Linux computer.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
am going to play like cloud gaming for the foreseeable future.
yeah. And the thing is, and that's another one of those things. And I mean, we're going a little off topic, as has to be honest, that's how the podcast started. So why not? Uh, but yeah, the first thing was, and even our first customers, and to be honest, they're still there. Touch wood. Is the fact that they are the people like you who just wanted to play a game, and so they like they Googled, oh, how do I play this game on this? And then suppose they went to some forum or Reddit or whatever, and some guy was like, have you tried cloud gaming? And then when you research cloud gaming India, you end up to us.
Yeah, there's only one provider in India.
Yeah, and that was insane, right? And to be honest, that's what we started to do. That's what how it started. Like me and Anu was just like, man, we should be the ones to do it for India because we get the
Mhm.
Indian market. We've been here. Like like gaming in India is a very different thing compared to gaming
Mhm.
in the West, right? People are not afraid to invest as much as
Mhm.
they are in the West. They can because, yeah, of course, there's a whole affordability economics factor going. But yeah, there's a certain trust build up there where you can invest in a game and, it'll be a good return of investment. And that concept isn't exactly like that much kind of explored in India. So we had to find a solution. We had to find a cheap
Mhm.
solution, and we had to find the fact that people just like you, like you said initially that you were dumbfounded that it's working on Chrome. That was also one of the barriers we had to cross. That yeah, I mean, this can work. We're not lying to you, right? This is not like a
Yeah,
fake app. I get that. Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
at times we get reviews on. So suppose some guy on Play Store tried to play it, and we said this is our minimum requirements, 10 Mbps, whatever. And suppose he's playing on a data which and he's getting 1 Mbps speed, right? So he can't play. And so he tells us, like, oh, it's a fake app. It's like, no, dude, it's not. Like, it's not a fake app. Just tell us what's what. And then we try to have a conversation with them. But that is there because people don't believe that this will be possible. If I say you can play
Mhm.
GTA 5 on your PC, they'll be like on your Chrome on your Chrome on a Windows machine, they'll be like, "Kya bol raha hai?" So that is one of the barriers you can cross. You have to cross. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and like we talked about, like you learned this technology maybe for 6 months or so. How has
Mhm.
the journey been so far? Like you mentioned that you started this in 2018. It's been
Yeah.
almost like more than 2 years, I think
2 years, yeah, 2 years, and
How's this been like?
it was insane. Yeah, because the first thing. So, I mean, again, to give you a little bit background, so I had I've not had, I have a startup before like this. I started, which I started back in end of 2016, which was a hardware startup, not related to computers or anything. It was called Pyali, and me and three of my college friends, we made this cup where you could heat or cool whatever you want. You'd put it there, you'd put your, hot coffee or a beer, and you could set the temperature, and it's going to stay at that temperature till you finish your drink, whether you take like, 2 hours or 20 hours, whatever. So we made it, we patented it, and then we put it out there to selling. And that was like my first startup experience. And so after,
Oh, nice.
yeah, and like after two, we ran a successful crowdfunding campaign. We got incubated in IIT, I think two years back. IIT Delhi incubated us. So it was pretty cool. And during that time is when I was talking to Manan, and then we came up with the idea. So that's how it started. Like because I knew the world that yeah, startups, what a startup is, and what we have to do
Yeah.
for it, and it's going to be a headache. So I was like, so yeah, that was me being like, and to be honest, that was also Manan's way of because Manan had a job at the time. He used to work at a really cool company, and he would have had to like leave his job eventually, and he did, and
Well,
that
yeah,
was
now both of you have like
yeah, we're
investors
working.
now.
Yeah, we're properly working full time and stuff. So that's the thing. Like that's how it started. Like, yeah, do this. We're gonna do. This is how the journey is gonna be. It's gonna be a headache. It's gonna be this. It's gonna be that. And yeah, we don't want to do this. And he was like, yeah, cool, because we've been friends since we were school, so from school, since school. So he's like, yeah, cool. And yes, and after that, it was just this like the same one like a similar experience to my last startup. That's going to be a headache until it's not, which is the day you go live, which is then it's a different headache. But until the first headache is more tension, which is like of whether
Because
we
you
are
want to have that
capable.
first impression, like the amazing first impression.
Yeah, that's there, but like the more actually that's not there. The first tension we had of whether we can do this or not, because
Ah.
when you spoke to people, really like knowledgeable people if of the industry, they basically be like, "ये इंडिया में नहीं चलेगा," right? These are the things you get, or you won't be able to do this, right? Not because they like they're like shitty people, but because they from their practical experience, from their professional experience, that's what their opinion is. And to be honest, the jury's still out. I don't know, but our belief was like, yeah, not really, because we've if there are people like us, and we had gone to colleges. I remember initially we had gone to colleges. I had spoken to college kids. Spoken to my peers and random people I met through friends and whatever. And I'd start a conversation with them, and then I would tell them the idea, and they'd be like, "Yeah, this is something we would pay for." Because that's the question, right? That's the professional investor way of looking at things.
Yeah.
Sure, it's a good idea, but would people pay for it, right? Otherwise, it's like, what's fayda kya hai?
Like, is it
Uh,
creating some value?
is it creating value? Exactly. So yeah, that's what happened. So that was the initial journey. The until the day we launched that, whether we were capable of doing this and whether this would work or not.
And you started with three people, you mentioned.
Yes, it's me, Manan, and another one of my college friends, Abhyang, who was
Mhm.
also my co-founder at Pal.
Ah,
So
okay.
yeah, and he was the one who had a bit of experience in coding because he used to uh, run code at Piali as well. We were doing some machine learning type, like at least we were doing an experiment of that, and he used to write code for that. And Manan is the other code, right? He writes code for passion mostly. He's a good coder in school as well, school and college. So basically how it was decided was they will handle the tech side of things and I would handle the basically everything else. And that's how it started at least. That's how it started at least. And as we grow along, it was basically it's quite a jumble now. Obviously, they handle
Hmm.
the larger side of the tech side in our startup at this point.
Ah.
I go both ways. So now it's a very jumbled process. Like we go, so it's like because that's what a startup is, right? Because when you're three people, you can't be like, मैं तू tech कर, मैं business करूंगा. Because the very simple truth is शुरू में कोई business नहीं है तेरे पास. Like, what are you doing? Right?
Hmm.
So you
Well,
obviously
you have
have
to hustle. बहुत
right.
hustle.
Oh, well, that's a whole different thing. That was also something that I remember going into a meeting a investor. I don't remember when, but I pitched him the entire thing. It took like I think it was a 15-minute thing. And after 15 minutes, he listened to me and he's like, "I won't invest, but you should keep doing this because I do see this is something cool." And then I just basically said to him, like, I'm stuck in a chicken and egg situation. I can't do anything else unless I get money. And you're saying to get customers before I come to you. So what do I do? Because and to be honest, that's a chicken and egg situation every startup in itself.
Hmm. Yeah.
And the basic his basic reply was hustle. That's it. There's no other way.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I didn't get it until the day we got a little money and then we got a little more money and then the money from the customers started coming in and I was like, oh shit, this is what the guy made. Yeah, that's how it started for us as well.
But like seriously, like it I at this point, like I do use it like all whenever I want to game. I
Mhm.
have like PS3 and PS4 lying around. I don't even open them anymore because I just don't want to like start them and then they'll take a while and stuff. I just go online and like log in and start playing GTA 5, and that's like I at this point I can't imagine myself going back to a hardware based gaming product. It's so great,
That's
like the whole
that's
package.
the that was a dream, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure because of what we know about this field, there will never be a time that people don't want hardware. Because I have customers like that, right? They'll be like, "Sir, I'm getting latency," and then I look at their, their
Location.
no, not the location, but what they're
Or the
playing and what their
provider.
latency is, the back end. And I look at their
Ah.
back end, I get the latency that they're seeing, and I'm like, "Sir, you got instead of 60 FPS, you were getting 45 for
Hmm.
5 minutes. That's what happened." And they're like, "Yeah, but that won't happen with my PS4." And then I won't have a reply for them, right? Because they're right. As a customer, that is what they should demand, and that is
Hmm.
what they should get. And where we are with this technology, there will be times that for 5 minutes you may get a FPS drop, right? You may get latency because hell, I still get latency from time to time if I'm sitting on, you know, YouTube or Netflix or whatever. And majority of times the reason is because my internet kind of went, crazy for a second, right?
Hmm.
So I get that the fact that we will never stop hardware, right? That probably won't happen. But the
Hmm.
simple fact is not everyone can afford that hardware. Not everyone can afford to buy hardware and then afford to buy the games that they also have. And with the coming generation, the cost of games is going to go up, right?
Yeah, I think it's
So
going up to like $70 now.
$70, right? Yeah. So that was the second reason. That was like the primary thing. Like first we have to go do this for India. Second thing, we have to do this with the simple fact that an Indian is going to play on it, not someone
Hmm.
sitting in America, because those guys, majority of those guys can afford it. An average US
Hmm.
gamer can afford to invest more uh, in games and hardware than an average gamer in India, which is fact. It's literally there have been surveys on it, right? हमारे यहाँ सबसे ज्यादा
Hmm.
गेमर कौन
Hmm.
से हैं? मोबाइल गेमर्स. Why? because you only have to invest in a very specific handset, which is not comparable to a console and a game, right? सबसे ज्यादा गेम
Hmm.
कौन सा खेलते हैं इंडिया में? पबजी, राइट? कैंडी क्रश, पबजी, थ्री
Right.
गेम्स. दैट्स द रीजन, बिकॉज मैं उतना इन्वेस्ट नहीं कर सकता. इट्स नॉट इट्स नॉट कि मेरे में कमी है, बट इट्स फैक्ट दैट दैट्स व्हाट द इंडियन गेमर कैन डू, majority of it
But
at
but
least.
but like, what about the future? Like, abhi we're gonna have 5G. We're gonna have like
Mm-hmm.
everybody's gonna like hopefully upgrade to 5 gigahertz routers, and then they're
Mm-hmm.
not gonna have these problems. Like I
Mm-hmm.
personally upgraded to a 5 gigahertz router when I found out that I did not have a 5 gigahertz router, and I wanted to like do cloud gaming, like play on the cloud.
Mm-hmm.
And so I upgraded, and now I just can't like go back to normal gaming, like even running something on my PC,
Mm-hmm.
because it's just more of a hassle, and like on a PC especially making it work often because I
Mm-hmm.
have a Linux computer. So like, and like even just on a PS3 and other stuff, like the other hardware components
Mm-hmm.
with the future, like what do you think? Like, is it still going to be like that? Because like, isn't the future supposed to be super low latency now?
So see, two different concepts, right? You are by 5G or any other better connective technology. Uh,
Hmm.
that's true that you're letting users access. Suppose if you're talking about cloud gaming, yeah, they will be able to play any game they want. They can stream it perfectly, right? But at the
Hmm.
same time, if a connective technology is improving, hardware side, there will be some upgrades as well, right?
Hmm.
I mean, to
Hmm.
be very fair, Nvidia has a cloud gaming uh,
GeForce now.
division, GeForce Now, and at the same time, they are the ones making hardware for cloud gaming for cloud providers,
Hmm.
right? So that's the thing. Like, there will always be upgrade on both sides. So, and I obviously am a fan of cloud gaming. And I also know the reality that there will always be people who would like the option to play on hardware, which is something
Hmm.
we are totally supportive of because, yeah, that's cool. I mean, I know that I'm going to order a PS5.
Hmm.
I loved what PlayStation does, and I've been a big fan of PlayStation. I was like, yeah, man, I'm going to order PS5. But at the same time, I love the fact that I can play my PC games on my mobile now, right? So I'm going to do that
Hmm.
as well. And what we'd want in the perfect future is, yeah, cloud gaming works, and less clutter on my desk now, right?
Yeah.
That's what we want, and that's what we're aiming for. And to be honest, that could work in India. That could very well work in India because what I now see, if I go into a home, I don't see set-top boxes, right?
Hmm.
I see a Fire Stick or I see a smart TV,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? You want less clutter in your life, right? Wasn't
Well, I
that
think
the
smart TVs are now like cheaper than normal LED TVs at
Yeah,
least.
yeah, like you've got 43 inches coming out at 24 grand, right?
Yeah.
I'm being very specific because I was just looking at Amazon a few hours back. So yeah, and like that's the thing, right? And if you are accommodating, like I was saying, there is a price factor. There is a price
Hmm.
factor in India, and that's what we aim to build. A cheap alternative, and not cheap in a way that it's competitive, because
Hmm.
that's what we can't do. We can't compete because if we are competing, I mean, at least from a business side of view, I would say I would want to make something really cheap because then I don't want
Hmm.
a person to think, right? You do that,
Hmm.
right? When you're like, मैं Xbox खरीदूं या PlayStation, right? But suppose that Xbox is for 10 grand and PlayStation is for 40 grand and they are both work the same way. You
Yeah.
won't
Then of
think
course
about
Xbox.
you won't think about buying a PlayStation. You just like Xbox, no. And that's what the dream, that's what we started with. Like we were like, yep, agar hum ye bana rahe hain, it has to be cheap. It has to be something which gives you the same experience, but it has to be cheap because that's number one from a business point of view. That's the call to action. That's we're like, yep, that's why I'm buying it. Second, that's the reality of the country I'm living in. And that's also the reality I want to make going forwards. अगर नेक्स्ट जनरेशन $70 गेम कर रही है तो मैं ये चाहता
Hmm.
हूँ कि नेक्स्ट उसी जनरेशन में मेरा हार्डवेयर का कॉस्ट आधा हो जाए बिकॉज दैट्स व्हाट
Right.
आई ऑल्सो वांट एज अ कंज्यूमर. मैं बिजनेसमैन हूँ, हाँ, but I'm also a gamer in India who knows what my customer wants.
Are the only providers in India right now. Google and Amazon haven't launched in India right now because they aren't
Yet,
ready to.
yet, yeah. I
Yeah,
know they are
yet.
working. I know they're working at it. I've
Mm-hmm.
spoken to people uh, from Google. I've spoken to people related to Amazon. Not that I can say they are confirmed that they're going to bring it, but I know that they're thinking about it. Because to be fair, it's a big market, right? Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, but then like in India again, a lot of those problems might come in which you are facing right now with customer like dissatisfaction because they're just not like actually aware of what they need because a lot of people
Sure, sure, sure.
don't even have like 5 gigahertz routers and Google can't solve that for everyone.
Yeah, and to be fair, Google's also an ISP in the States, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it's I don't remember what's it
They're
called, but
also an
they are a
ISP
carrier
in
over there.
US, but yeah, and that's again that's the best side of things, right? But yeah, they to be fair, when Project Yeti came and Stadia came, even xCloud, and I think xCloud right now even it's in beta. I don't know. I saw something on Twitter this morning, and they were like, "This game is now released on xCloud brackets में beta था." So the point being that the beta and everything that they're testing and everything is the fact that it's also not the fact that it's customer dissatisfaction because it's not. You know, the big companies they can work the code out. It's the fact that the tech is new and you can't control end to end, right? With hardware, you're gonna get them an Xbox, right? Xbox, and you're gonna give them the HDMI cable, right? TV TV है you can't mess around with a TV. TV तेरे Xbox से connect होगा and it'll work because and now X like Microsoft to the best of their knowledge is controlling the end-to-end customer experience. ये लो आपके हाथ में मैंने रिमोट दे दिया आपके हाथ सामने मैंने कंसोल रख दिया टीवी आपका ठीक है ये गेम पक्का चल जाएगा सर राइट that's a simple way of looking at it. But when it comes to cloud gaming, and which is something we realized obviously after getting because when initially we were like, "Arey, हाँ, ये तो चल जाएगा 100%." And when you actually get into it, that you understand the fact that you cannot control end to end. Once the data leaves your servers, right? उसके बाद से, especially, I mean, again, I can't say anything about any other country because I haven't tested it. But by the time it reaches the customer's computer, there are so many pathways. Literally, there are so many pathways that it can
Mm-hmm.
take, the route it will take.
Mm-hmm.
We don't
Yeah.
know that. And we can't, we can control it to a certain limit. And that's what,
Yeah, like you're opening new
yeah,
servers everywhere, which are under beta
yeah,
right
it's
now,
in
by
it's
the
in beta
way.
right now, and we're working. I mean, literally an hour back, I was like negotiating and stuff. But yeah, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to control it as much as possible. The fact that yes, the user
Hmm.
can have a brilliant experience, and that's what the beta is all about when it comes to xCloud and everything. Yeah, I get it. This is new technology. This is new ground. You kind of have to, and we're the first out of the gate in India, so we don't have any. Like I can't Google answers. Like that's the worst part, right? I don't know how much developing you've actually done, but if you get an issue, you're like Google karo, right? Why isn't this dot state working, right? And then you put out your whatever code you wrote and you put it on Google or whatever error visual code is sending towards you to Google में डालते हैं, and Google
Hmm.
takes you to GitHub and then you're like, oh, okay, now I agree. But in our case, we don't have that, right? So you have to figure it's new ground and you kind of have to be like, okay, this will work, this will not work, the whole thing. So it's cool. It's not something that we are like we give up on because it's not. Every day we discover something new. Every day we have new changes, and we're doing three betas right now. One is the server beta that you mentioned. Another one is the next generation of our or our whole code, which will reduce latency all across. And the third is our mobile app. So yeah, and we're working on these simultaneously because
And you're also bringing out new
one
games,
goes,
by the way. You just brought out like
yeah,
the next generation of games as well.
we're trying to put out new games every day because every week at least like that's our new way because the first time what we were doing is we were putting out less games because we were focusing on the tech and the app and the fact that yes, gamers can now play it because our first like you're lucky enough to have a browser, right? not everyone has a laptop or a browser, right? That was our first the first hurdle we had to cross is get our app out, get a good functional app out.
Hmm.
Because I don't know if you've seen our previous app. Yeah, that was not good. That was like really bad. I'll be honest. It looked really bad, and I was like, yeah, dude, we have to change it. And then we worked our asses off, and hats off to Abhyant, and he took point on that, and we did it, and now that app which is out there, it's our new app, which I think we released a month back. It's awesome. Like I love it. I even love looking at it. I'm like, yeah, man, that's how it's supposed to look like. That's how it's supposed to work.
And that's a company you founded. Like, I can't even imagine how proud you must be feeling right now.
Yeah, that you see that's always there. That yeah, this is something we did, and that's all. That's the half. That's half of it. Because I was in sales before this, and the one thing that all the day, every time that you do something like you hound people for sales, and when it's whether it's cold calling or cold emails or going to meetings and everything. And at times customers respond well to you, at times they don't. And at the end of the day, the only thing that makes you feel good, the only thing that makes you do it again, the high, is when you sell it, right? That's the high. That's why you do it again. And that's the same case as here. Like, there are two highs, right? One.
How crazy is it that
Mhm.
like one of the first places where you can play like Assassin's Creed Valhalla or Watch Dogs Legion in India is on the gaming
Mhm.
project. Like you can't go ahead and buy a GTA PS5 right now. If you want to play like these next.
If you own the game, you can play it. Yeah, you can just go and buy the game, and then you can play it. You don't have to worry about the hardware. That's what we as a service try to do. You don't have to worry about the hardware. I'm not going to comment on the games. Games. The entire credit of games goes to the developers, right?
Hmm.
Because give it, मैंने थोड़ा सा attempt किया game dev में, and man, oh man, these guys work their asses off
Yeah,
for developing games,
yeah. Like
right? The entire thing should go to a game
I
dev,
created like a
and
couple of games that I can like. Those were very shitty games, like really crappy games. And, like I can completely like appreciate how much these guys work on each game.
Yeah, yeah, and because they're awesome, like the devs and like the marketing they do and the publishers and how they reach out, because logistics is, especially in a post-COVID environment, logistics is a bitch, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
So they worked out their asses, and what we can do as as people who are trying to add value to this industry is that go to a customer and be like, you guys don't have to worry about the hardware. It'll run. You just sign up, just have a good internet connection. That's the minimum requirement that we say. You should have a good internet connection and you should have your passion. That's it. And it'll work. The rest is on us. So that's what we try. That's what the whole thing has been
Three questions which are like really hounding my brain right now.
about. Sure.
W- First, like, what about Cyberpunk?
Okay.
Second, like, do you want to kind of get into the streaming stick market yourself as well? Like, do you want like the gaming project theme stick out there, like some sort of hardware
Uh-huh.
representation? And the third,
Yeah, yeah.
like, what about the non-gaming cloud component? Do you ever want to like venture out over there as well? Like, do you want somebody to just like use their stick or use a screen and like have their whole computer on
Hmm.
there regardless of if they have the like complete hardware on there or not?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the first question I have to say no comment. But it'll be a surprise. If it's there, it'll be a big surprise. Second thing with the streaming stick is maybe I'm not we're honestly we're not sure what we so how we started is the fact that we want like as I mentioned before, we want as less clutter as possible.
Mhm.
And if there are no options, then yeah, we might go for a streaming stick. What we'd want to, and to be honest, this is what we're working on is an app that will run everywhere.
Hmm.
So, if you have a smart TV, it'll work. You don't need to install a stick. It'll work via just connect your TV with the LAN and it should work.
Mhm.
Because that's what we are aiming for, and we've been testing it. And if it works, that's the dream, right? As less hardware as possible.
Right.
I do want a custom controller. That is something I really like, because whether it's an Xbox controller or a PlayStation controller, these I mean, and the dual sense, I love it. I love the concept. But yeah, that's the thing I want to design. I'm a little bit of a designer in that sense. And I like with I also I love the Steam controller.
Hmm.
I don't think it lasts. I don't think
No, it's like
I don't know if they still sell it.
no, they don't still sell it. They made a lot of acquisitions
But
with it. The problem I think that they had were they wanted everybody to like configure the controllers themselves, and it like nobody like really took the
yeah,
standard.
yeah. But I like that. Like thing is, some people have that thing, right? Like just give them a package
Yeah.
solution and it should work.
Mhm.
Right. And I know you being a developer, you would want, like, no, I want to get into it, right? I want to get into
Yeah.
I want to customize it. Yeah, in GTA 5. We play GTA 5, right? I want to customize my car. I want to customize it. Like, color ये होना चाहिए, bike tires ये ऐसे होने चाहिए. Because we want that. So I really like that hardware as well. But yeah, that's what I want. That's what the something, uh, if we, I don't know when, but it is something we are working on. A custom controller that will be really cool because we do like we to be honest, we on our website we support all controllers,
Mhm.
third party, Xbox, PlayStation. On our app we support Xbox, PlayStation now, and we are working on third party. It'll probably come out very soon. But yeah, and that's what like it builds. I like support, but at the same time, like yeah, man, I really want a custom controller. There were two reasons. One is yeah, it'll be easy for us to even kind of develop it
Mhm.
because we know the back end, and if we, like I said before, end to end,
Yeah.
right? If you can give them something we can control, that's good.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it'll be really cool to have like a
And it's
controller,
like
gaming
it'd
project
be an
controller. Yeah,
amazing
that sounds
marketing strategy as well. Like if I go to one of my friend's
good.
house and I see a controller branded their gaming project, I'm gonna go ahead and look it up really like at that particular moment. What are you looking forward to now? Like obviously there's the new accompanying tech, like in the communications, 5G, whatnot. What do you want like for the gaming project to be in the future, near future maybe?
Oh, I'm really looking forward to 5G. That is, again, like you mentioned before, it's a game changer. It opens my software, it opens our platform to a big, big set of users, a big market, which they can't do before, right? And because of companies in India like Geo, they have access to it now, right? And I would love that. I would love that. I'm looking forward to 5G like a lot because, to be honest, that is also something that's a primary reason we started when we started. Because suppose if you had told me 3, 4 years ago, or maybe before that, when 3G was there,
Mhm.
that you're making this, do you think it will work? I'd be like, even with 4G, whose speed is 10 Mbps, I would be like, oh, I'm not sure. But because I knew 5G was, just around the corner, was right on the horizon, but I was like, yeah. I think it will work because I knew as we build our tech, as like it'll be in sync,
Mhm.
and we are. I mean, it's there. It's almost there, right?
Yeah.
They just announced. So yeah, it's almost here. So I'm really looking forward to 5G. When it comes to internet connectivity, we're already there. Like there is and we saw, and I love it. It came right when we
Mhm.
started
Mhm.
was the fact that India now has like our collective bandwidth speeds are increasing. There are more people now who have fiber in their houses, whether it's in South India, North India, anywhere. I have so many customers now, and whenever I talk to them, feedback hota hai, and then I'm like, what connection are you using? We have these forms we make our customers fill out when they want to participate in a beta. And I remember 1 year ago, we did a beta on our platform itself, and people were like, oh, I have 40 Mbps speed, I have 30, 20, 10, 1, 2 kbps, 500 kbps. I'd be like, it's true. In India, you find all kind of averages,
Mhm.
right? And 1 year later, making them fill out another beta, and now it's like, it starts from 40,
Mhm. Yeah.
40, 50, 60, 100, 200. 200 Mbps कितना अमीर है भाई?
I mean, I'm sitting at
But ठीक है.
Kanpur and I'm getting 300 Mbps. It's pretty affordable
Right,
now.
right. 1 Gbps आ रहा है यार. People have 1 Gbps plans. I'm like, बहुत पैसा है. But but yeah, that's the I'm a middle class family person, so I get a lot. I give a lot of shit when people have when they spend money on one
Yeah.
Gbps and I'm like, बहुत पैसा है. Anyways, so yeah, so that I saw that. Uh, so once that was also another one of those things that we really look forward to.
Mhm.
Fiber in every house. which basically means, yeah, these guys can literally, they have the minimum requirements now.
Mhm.
Because, okay, the one thing that we, so as a company, we provide users to play on 360, 480p,
Mhm.
720p, 1080p, right? Full HD.
Yeah.
But that was the limit. We didn't go 4K because we couldn't, because the bandwidth wasn't there.
Mhm.
मैं 4K दे सकता हूँ, like we've developed the tech, but we don't give it out because the moment I give an option to 4K, users don't have it. They don't have the bandwidth to support. Now they do. So 4K is around the corner for us. Now I know, yeah, I can do that now.
Oh, so
Because next gen
there's
अगर
going to be another option in the quality bar then.
there's gonna be another option, the quality bar, 4K. And like that was a collective choice by us. Not because we couldn't do it, but because we knew that the bandwidth isn't there. So we're like, yeah, let's do 4K now because yeah, and now I think next early next year we'll be rolling out 4K as well.
Oh, okay. That's like really
Yeah.
really soon. I'm honestly like I'm personally a regular user of the service. Like I tried a couple of others out
Hmm.
as well, and this is the
Okay.
only one which actually worked for me on my like laptop and stuff because I just don't want to open
Hmm.
Windows just to play cloud gaming. Moreover, so I was like, this is
Yeah.
the perfect solution, and now it's like the future is really really exciting because I don't think like I like there's a lot more people with like great internet speeds and lower latency, and like this
Hmm.
just opens up so many possibilities. Like it's just mind blowing.
Hmm.
How about like consumer cloud computing though?
Yeah, like so, yeah, you mentioned it. So, to be honest, we already do it. We already have like so, our company. It's called the Gaming Project, but like as a company, we're called
Yeah.
CloudQuest, right? That's the name of our
Mhm.
company. And we also provide those services where if you're a business and you'd want, suppose you're doing
Mhm.
designing or you're editing a movie or whatever, and you don't want to invest in hardware and you want to use cloud resources for that, we do provide that service as well. So there's a brilliant thing called and I'm forgetting that thing, but anyway, so there was a concept like this before, and we so we used to work out of in a pre-COVID environment. We used to work out of a
Mhm.
workspace in Noida, and we work type of deal. And why is the word why is the word not in my brain? Anyways, so and it was like common workspace, and
Co-working
there are
spaces.
people there who thank you. Like what is wrong with me? I put together common workspaces, but instead of like just cutting out the M mode, I'm like yeah. Anyways, so it was a co-working space. Thank you so much. Edit that out. Uh, it was a co-working. You're not gonna edit that out, are you? Anyways, but yeah, it was a co-working space, and there were people there who came up to us and they were like, we want to, design something and our computers don't let us do it. So can we do it on your servers? And I was like, yeah, you just have to, do this, do that. And they did it. And it was a brilliant experience for them. So we, as a separate thing to our company, we already do that. So I know for a fact that just like cloud gaming can reduce hardware in terms of consoles or, big ass
Mhm.
PCs, we can also do the same for workspaces.
Yeah, I mean, like, if I could,
I had a
yeah, yeah.
friend, yeah, I had a friend who came up with an idea of like a streaming stick for certain workspaces, which don't really do anything. Like, in banks and stuff, you don't really require, like, in a bank, there's only one software that
Mhm.
works, which is the bank
Mhm.
software, right? Otherwise, you can't do anything else. So yeah, he came up with that idea, and I was like, yeah, man, we should really do something about that. And so yeah, the idea is out there. We already have some clients. So yeah, we are working towards it. It's a branch of our organization that's
I'm
still
what
there.
like,
And yeah, we'll try
what
to
do you
expand. We'll try to expand it also.
what do you think like how long is it going to take for like Adobe, like for example, like Google has already done with Stadia. Now like you can't pirate cloud gaming like games. Like how long do you think it
Sure.
will take companies like Adobe or stuff like other companies or Autodesk to like just put their software, like just put the programs behind a cloud PC and just say that you can access it through a Chrome browser and do everything that you used to?
It's not far. That future is not far at all. Because people are already doing that, right? There are, again, I'm forgetting that company's name, but they've kind of shifted towards cloud. especially in so we were so I'll tell you, we were approached by this guy a few days
Mm-hmm.
back, and he was looking at a solution where they wanted to do like a company retreat kind of a thing on cloud because everyone's sitting at their homes, right? So I was like, and that idea didn't come out of a cloud company, right? Or a compute or like computer based organization or whatever. No, that of an IT company that came out of a guy who runs a health firm. Because now in a post-COVID environment, people have realized the fact that you don't need people in offices, right? You don't need to buy them
Mm-hmm.
hardware, right? You just need to get them a decent internet connection and it'll work.
Mm-hmm.
So the future is not out there where anything you would buy in a or you would see in an office space or in a gaming cafe, right? You wouldn't see on your Linux-based cheap laptop because now, yeah, you can substitute it. So the future is not far. I honestly think these guys will shift to it pretty soon. And yeah, at the same time, we'll work on it as well.
That sounds like I have talked to a few people about this, and you're basically the first
Mhm.
person who is actually working in this space. And like just to hear
Yeah.
this like the future sounds very exciting and like very different from where we are right now. Like things might take a very
Oh yeah.
drastic like change for the better.
Yeah, yeah. And to be honest, it's not a drastic change because you use very simple thing is Google
Mhm.
Drive or
Yeah.
OneDrive, right? They are basically your hard drive in on your cloud,
Mhm.
right? So the thing is, the change is already here.
Mhm.
I don't need to. I have a 256 GB laptop
Mhm.
SSD, right? And a few years back, if I would have told you I'm buying a laptop of 256 GB, you'd laugh at my face because you'd be like, "Tu movies kahan dalega aapne?" Right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, my movies are now on cloud.
Mhm.
My files are now on cloud. Everything is already there. So we are like the future's already here. We're just looking, we're just like dhire, it'll be there and we won't even realize it. And like, yeah, proper, Wally universe is there. It's like we're already there. So yeah, we're already there. We're slowly moving
Mhm.
towards it.
This
Yeah.
was really enlightening. Like any message to like the budding entrepreneurs or the students, like we're gonna get a lot of students who are gonna listen to this. I hope. So any message to
Yeah.
those kind of people who are just like starting out or like starting their businesses.
See, my first message, go to my platform, please. Uh, second is uh, it's well, if you're a student, go study. If you're a student entrepreneur, do not study. No, go study more actually. But yeah, like the first thing is, guys, like that guy told me, I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna have to hustle. It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be extremely hard, and it's gonna require a lot of hard work from you. It'll be every day. Every day is gonna be a new issue. Every day there's gonna be a new problem. Every day a problem you thought you solved will come back to bite you in the ass. That's a fact of it, right? But the high or the the really cool part about this is you will also be able to solve it. It's not an unsolvable thing. It's there. You kind of just have to work on it. And once you do, because the best brilliant part about student entrepreneurs, especially, is the fact that holy shit, are they creative? Student entrepreneurs in India, I've seen, man, the ideas we can come up with is amazing because especially when we're not bound by, when we've not gone through that filter of office life, right?
Mhm.
Or corporate life, or whatever you want to call it, it kind of restricts you because that's what, as a company, they'd want them to
Mhm.
do, right? Either employees just focused on what the work
Mhm.
should be. But as before that, when you're out of college or you're in your final year or whatever, and you have an idea, and which is something I told to my parents as well, because also a big reality in India is your parents. They're like when the moment you say to your parents, "I'm doing a startup," there's a whole other heart attack, right? So the very simple thing is, guys, work on
Mhm.
it. Don't like your brain is just shooting ideas out of it, and you have no idea what you're doing also. But very simple thing about life is nobody has any idea what they're doing. just go for it. It's going to be hard, but it's worth it, is what I would say. Because when you solve that idea, or write that code and it compiles, right, build a jata hai program, or whether you're uh, building something out and it starts working, light jal jati hai LED ki and it's on. Like that high is worth it, because I'm like, yeah, this is something I made. This is something that's like unique to me,
Hmm.
which is like something which is really awesome. That feeling is so awesome. Go for it. It might, I mean, because that's the sad reality of also the flip side about it is it may not work for a long time, but at least you have a story now,
Hmm.
right? Everyone's life is ugh, boring as fuck, right? But if you build something, if you're in college, or if you're studying or whatever, if you're working, and if you worked on something unique and it worked for a second, and you had one guy tell you that it was really cool,
Hmm.
then it's like, yeah, man, I did something. कुछ तो करा है, जिंदगी में कुछ करा है मैंने. That feeling is really cool. So yeah, just go for that feeling, and you'll build it.
That's so amazing. Like, I've had a few like kind of small entrepreneurial journeys myself with a few other people. Like, if this
Hmm.
is like exactly what I think I would have wanted to hear when I was like starting out. Hopefully, I will get to that
Yeah,
some other time. But like, thank you so much.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, no issues at all, no issues at all. And to be honest, you are already doing that, right? Because you told me that this is like your second or third episode, and before that you had a YouTube channel, and now you're doing this. So that basically tells that, yeah, you're on that thing, you're pivoting, and you're doing, and you're working on it. But at the end of the day, it's you getting letting your creativity out, which is what this whole thing is all about. Because if you're not doing that, then what the fuck are you doing, right? Oh, otherwise, it's just like, oh God, it's boring, right? What are you
Hmm,
doing?
hmm, hmm.
बैठ के KBC देख रहा है, like like just you have to get your creativity out. And it's rare having an imagination. It's rare having a creative
Hmm.
imagination. And if you're doing something about it, like you are, which is awesome, because it has a simple thing. Not everyone does it. There's only few people who do it. पहली मेहनत लगती है, दूसरी, the confidence, that's a big thing, right? You're putting your thoughts out there. How do you know people aren't laughing at what you are saying, right? Third, am I unique enough? There are so many podcasts and YouTube stuff out there. Am I unique enough? But no, you believe in that idea, and you believe in the fact that, yeah, man, this should work because my passion is behind it, my creativity is behind it. So yeah, what you're doing is awesome.
Thank you so much, Sarang. And like, it was a
Mhm.
lovely, amazing time talking to you. I honestly had so much fun because I love this industry so much and I love being a customer so much.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for like accepting my invite after a couple of months. So thank you for being on the podcast. I
Thank-
really enjoyed. I hope the listeners enjoyed just as much as I did. Thank you so much for accepting the invite and coming on here, Sarang. And that was the second episode of the Tech Scene podcast. If you're still listening, thank you for being such a great supporter. This was one of the best recording sessions I've had yet. And I look forward to doing so many more of these. I've got so many interesting ones coming up. And I really look forward to seeing you guys again. This is Anant, and thank you for tuning in.